My beloved child, I am doing this as a final effort to awaken you. Life within you is being worn away, and you do not even realize it. This is my last call, not with fear, but with a deep and merciful truth. You are withering not from a violent illness, but from quiet compromises. Little by little each day, death does not come from the outside, but from within a body, a routine, and a mind that have long been neglected. I do not come to frighten, but to alert, for if you remain silent, you will be the one who shortens your own days. You think your fatigue is normal, that it is the result of age, work, or a restless night. But I see more clearly than you do. I see an immune system struggling in silence. I see a body straining to survive, the injuries unspoken, the emotions repressed, the wounds never truly healed. Your soul is withering, not because you are wicked, but because you are exhausted. You have put others ahead of yourself for too long. You have traded your well-being to preserve relationships, responsibilities, or the image of being strong, but that is no longer sustainable. You are breaking inside, and if you don't stop, you will collapse. No one else can bear the weight of that breaking for you. I do not blame you. I am reaching out my hand. There is a path to healing, but it will require you to let go. Let go of avoidance, of false comforts, of habits that seem harmless. I am leading you back to yourself, back to the source of life I placed within you. It is not just about caring for the body, but about restoring the whole of you, body, mind, and spirit. My dear one, the destruction within you does not come with a great explosion, but from tiny daily fractures, each nod to weariness, each skipped meal, each late night in silence like droplets of water slowly wearing away stone erodes you without your knowing. No one is breaking you. It is your own habit of cornering yourself into silent endurance. I see you accepting small harms as though they are harmless, believing tomorrow will be better. But child, tomorrow does not heal itself if today remains in pain. Every small choice shapes your destiny, and I hope today you will choose differently. I do not fault you for what you didn't know. Life is fragile when it is trapped in schedules, obligations, and the expectations of others. I have seen you bypass your pain with a cup of coffee, a scroll through your phone, or a whispered, "I'll be fine." But, child, not everything that remains silent is harmless. There are cells within you struggling, organs quietly weeping, simply because you haven't stopped long enough to listen. And today, I speak to you what no one else can see, the cracking that begins from the inside. Look again. How much have you traded for convenience, rushed meals instead of nourishment, denied sleep rather than self-care, relationships maintained only out of fear of loneliness, not genuine love? Bit by bit, you have chosen what is not good, thinking it was too small to matter. But those small things are becoming habits, and habits, when repeated, become fate. I long for you to begin seeing not with guilt, but with a loving awareness. Let me illuminate the smallest acts you still do unconsciously. Let my light shine into the hidden corners of your day, the places you say, "This little bit doesn't matter." Child, nothing is just a little in my eyes when it concerns your very survival. And I am here, holding your hand, helping you to choose again, even in the smallest of things. You cannot repair what you do not know is broken, and I see the sadness within you faint, like a mist in the mind, It is because you've lived so long in quietness that even pain has become familiar. You have learned to endure rather than to heal. You have mastered pushing through, but have never stopped to ask, "Am I truly well?" The silence of your body and mind is the gentle alarm I send to you. I know you do not neglect yourself on purpose. I see your heart full of love for others. You sacrifice time, energy, and mind to uphold, to care, to carry the ones you love. But because you do not see that you, too, need tending, you are quietly fading. You are not stone, you are life. You need restoration. You need love. And I am calling you back to see what is truly happening inside of you. You used to think, as long as I haven't collapsed, I'm okay. But I say to you, not all wounds make a sound. There are fractures that grow silently, depletions without signs, until they break into something unrepairable. Do not wait for that moment. Child, do not wait until the hospital, until the desperate prayer for a too-late miracle. Your miracle is already here. In each day I whisper into your heart, stop, and return. Only when you become aware can you begin to change. Awareness is the first step, the gentle, yes, you say to me. You do not need to do it all at once. Just open your eyes and look at what is truly happening in your body, mind, and soul. Just dare to admit, I am not okay. And it is there, in that very place, that I will begin the work of healing, not with haste, but with my endless kindness. My beloved child, let this awareness not frighten you, but lighten your heart. For when you see what is misaligned, you have already stepped one foot into the light. When you pause to look, that is when I can reach you. Do not fear, I am not disappointed in you. I rejoice, because you are beginning to see what I have always seen, and I will not take my eyes off you. Not for a single moment. My beloved child, I formed your body with my own hands. Every cell, every vessel, every heartbeat was crafted with sacred intent. That body was not made simply for survival, but for walking in the fullness of life. I prepared for you, but you have forgotten its worth. You have allowed it to be misused by habits you thought were harmless, not because you meant to, but because you were never taught to see yourself as precious the way I see you. I see you eating in haste, ignoring the voice of your body, sometimes skipping meals, sometimes overeating, not from hunger, but from a restless mind, an empty heart. I see the foods that fill your belly but harm your liver, your gut, even your brain. I do not condemn you. I know you are trying, but because I love you, I want you to begin again. Don't see food as just fuel. It is either your daily act of love toward your body or a silent harm. Choose what gives you life, not just what gets you through the day. You haven't been getting enough sleep, have you? I've seen your eyes wide open through the night, not because you don't want to sleep, but because your mind finds no rest. You worry, calculate, scroll endlessly through meaningless information, forgetting that sleep is a form of worship, a way I restore your body each night. My beloved, allow yourself to rest. You are not a machine. Even I, after creating the world, took a day to rest. So why are you trying to prove that you are stronger than your Creator? I see the disarray in your rhythm of life, days without silence, schedules so full that there's no room left for my presence. You rush from task to task, from one person to another, forgetting to return to your own breath, to notice how your heart is beating. I did not create you to keep up. but to live rightly. If you keep letting yourself be swept along by this relentless pace, you'll lose not just your health, but the voice of your spirit. Your body is not merely physical, it is a vessel of my presence. It is in that very body that I long to live, to act, to touch the world through you. If your body grows weak, how will you accomplish the great things I've placed in your life? How will you embrace someone, lift someone, or speak words of healing when your own hands tremble with exhaustion? You were created to reflect light not only with your soul, but with each step, each gesture, each embrace flowing from a healthy, vibrant body. Begin to reconsider how you care for your body, not from fear of illness, but out of reverence for yourself. As I revere you, you are a temple, not a dumping ground for society's toxins, destructive products, or harmful habits. If you truly understood that your body is where I dwell, you would treat it differently. And I will be with you in every small change, a wholesome meal, a deep, restful sleep, a day taken slow just to breathe. These small things, repeated in love, will restore the temple. And when the temple is restored, I will pour out wonders you never dared to dream. My beloved, there are things that no machine can measure, that no test result can reveal, yet they hold the power to destroy your body. These are the emotions long suppressed, the wounds never touched. I see your soul straining under the weight, silent under old scars. There are sorrows you dare not speak, tears you swallowed behind a smile, anger you buried just to keep the peace. But my child, what is compressed for too long will eventually erupt, and often it does so through the body. Illness is not born only of food or environment. It can stem from a soul that no longer has space to breathe. I know you don't want to burden anyone. You don't want others to see you as weak. You choose silence, believing it's strength. But true strength is the courage to admit you are hurting. I see your liver strained by buried anger. I see your stomach in knots from unspoken anxiety. I see your heart weary from things you've forgiven with your lips, but haven't yet released in your heart. My child, you don't need to pretend you're okay when you stand before me. I am the one safe place for all your emotions, even the ones you're most ashamed of. I invite you to open your heart not for judgment, but for healing. When you dare to name your feelings, that is when I begin to touch the deepest parts of you. When you cry before me, those tears are never wasted. They wash the residue from your soul. When you pour out your grief, your laments, your weariness, it's not that I just learn of them then, but that you begin to feel lightened. What is hidden in the dark can only dissolve when brought into the light. And it is my light that will soften your heart, soothe your body, and renew your whole inner system. You once thought prayer was an obligation, but no. My dear one, it is your lifeline. Without prayer, your soul is like a tree without water, a child lost in the night. Prayer is not just speaking, it is connection. It is the moment you are held in my arms, exhaling all your burdens, inhaling new life from me. Those small, quiet prayers whispered in the chaos, that is where healing begins. No fancy words, no elaborate rituals, just an honest heart. Lord, I'm tired. Please help me. And I always wait for you in the stillness. I wait for you to return with a whisper, a sigh, a tear. You don't have to be strong when you come to me. You only need to be real. When you enter my presence, the first thing I heal will not be your illness, but your heart And from there, your whole body will begin to rise again. Because nothing is more powerful than a soul that's been healed. And nothing brings me greater joy than seeing you truly live fully, peacefully, meaningfully. My beloved, the healing I have for you has always been ready, not limited by time, not dependent on conditions. I do not wait for you to be perfect before I open my arms. I only wait for you to say, I'm willing, because you have free will and I will never force you. You must choose life for yourself. You must give me permission to enter the hidden places you've locked away. Restoration begins with surrender, not surrender to defeat, but a gentle trust in true love. I know it's not easy. To surrender means giving up control. It means letting go of what once felt safe, even if it was false. It means stepping onto a path you've never fully seen. But my child, I am not calling you to walk in darkness. I am calling you to walk in my light. When you choose life, not just to exist, but to truly live, I will take care of the rest. You don't need all the answers. You only need to say, I want to be healed. Huh? You think you must be strong to begin. But the truth is, your weakness brought before me is the very place where miracles begin. You are not alone. You never have been, and never will be. There are things you cannot do in your own strength, and I never expected you to. I have sent angels to watch over you. I have prepared people, words, and open doors that will meet you at the right time. But you must take the step, for miracles do not occur in delay. They unfold when faith moves. I have stood beside your bed on sleepless nights. I have been in the silent tears no one saw. I have witnessed the moments you smiled through exhaustion. And now, I say to you, enough. It is time for you to stop carrying everything alone. Let me bear the burden with you. Let me be your father in the truest sense, not just in prayer, but in every daily decision. Dare to choose a new path, even if it feels unfamiliar, even if it frightens you, because I will take your hand through every step. The journey of healing is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Each step you take, each time you say no to the old ways, brings you closer to the abundant life I've destined for you. I do not ask you to do something grand all at once. I ask you to be faithful in the small choices, a nourishing meal, an hour of timely rest, a sincere prayer. These small things, done with love, will build a life that is whole again. And when you look back, you will see it was those quiet steps of obedience that changed everything. My beloved child, what I am speaking to you now, these reminders, these gentle urgings to change, these calls to walk a different path are not punishments. I do not come with a whip, with sword and shield, or with a stern gaze. I come to you as a compassionate father who sees you wounded and cannot sit idly by while you continue to harm yourself. What I stir up today is not to shame you, but to set you free, not to condemn, but to bring you back to life. What I ask you to let go of may cause pain, like cutting off a habit, leaving something familiar, or facing the truth within yourself. But oh, my child, true love does not stand by while the one it loves walks into fire without a word. I love you enough to stop you. I love you too much to watch you destroy yourself in silence. Every word I speak, every point I make, comes from an unshakable love. If you hear my voice today, know this: it is not the voice of judgment, but the voice of a heart breaking for you. You used to think restoration meant paying for your mistakes. that it required you to earn your way back. But I say to you, restoration is not punishment. It is an invitation. An invitation to return to what I had in mind when I created you, a life of strength, peace, depth, and purpose. You were not made to struggle day by day just to survive. You were designed to rise, to radiate within the very body I crafted for you, to carry my light in every word, every action, every breath. The journey back may require you to release things you once clung to, perhaps food, a lifestyle, or even people who have drained your soul. But everything I invite you to release, I will replace with something better. I never take without giving in return. Though it may not happen instantly, all I ask of you is trust that I am truly good, that I call you to change, not to take away, but to restore you to the life I envisioned for you from the very beginning. You do not have to carry this change on your own. I walk with you. I give you strength. I make a way. I soothe the ache every time you feel like stepping back. Remember, this is not punishment, it is healing. Every step closer to me is a step closer to life. And in that journey, you will not only recover body, soul, and spirit, you will rediscover yourself, the very one I have loved and chosen before anyone knew your name. Come back, my child, not out of fear, but because you have always belonged to me. My beloved, now is the time for you to pause, not to give up, but to truly begin. I am not asking you to push through with more strength. Doing so has only led you to deeper exhaustion. I am inviting you to gently lay down all the burdens that were never yours to carry, all the responsibilities you embraced without being called, all the self-blame you've whispered to yourself. You no longer need to carry them. It is time to let yourself breathe fully for the first time in a long while. Let me carry those things for you. I see not just what's on the surface, I see deep within your heart. The sleepless nights, the emptiness, despite countless unspoken prayers. I know there are things you've kept hidden for so long that they feel like part of who you are, as if you were made to bear suffering. But no, my child, you were not created to endure pain as your identity. You were made to live radiantly, courageously, and freely. The weariness you feel is not weakness, it is the cry of your soul whispering to me, I cannot go on like this. Aid, I hear that cry, and I have always heard it. Even when you said nothing, even when you thought you didn't deserve a response. I was there when you laughed through tears. I wiped your tears in silence when no one else noticed. Every tear you shed is not wasted. They are seeds soaked in sorrow, waiting to bloom into full healing. But you must give your yes. You must open your heart not to the whole world, but just to me, even just a little, so I can enter in. I know you have been hurt, not just by circumstances, but by people you trusted. I do not dismiss that pain. I am not asking you to forget, but I will not allow it to remain the chains that bind you. The cracks in your heart do not make you less in my eyes, on the contrary. They make me want to hold you even closer, because I know that from those very wounds, I can bring forth something beautiful, authentic, and powerful. It will not be easy, but it will be sacred. You were not made merely to exist, to survive one day to the next. You were not created to count down the hours without knowing why you're still here. You were born with purpose. You were woven with divine intention, and the part you are to play in this world cannot be filled by anyone else. You are the only one with that voice, that gaze, that story, And I have prepared encounters, not accidents where your light is meant to shine. But how can you go there when your body is breaking down? How can you bring warmth to others when you feel frozen inside? I do not say this to burden you further, but to help you understand. The strength you need does not come from extraordinary effort. It comes from being with me. When you begin to live from the wellspring of my life, when you breathe in rhythm with grace, when you live not for recognition but in union with love, there, your strength will be renewed. You cannot go far if you keep carrying luggage that was never yours to begin with. Expectations that are not yours. Standards that do not come from me. Comparisons. Slow-burning resentment. And self-accusations you've rehearsed in the mirror every morning. I want you to lay it all down and start again. With gentle hands. With cleansed vision. With a heart free of entanglement. There are those waiting for your voice. Not a perfect voice, but a true one. A voice that tells the journey of someone who has fallen, who has been wounded, but has been healed. There are hands that need your touch, not as charity, but as companionship. There are souls who will find hope from the light that shines through your story. But none of this can happen if you do not allow yourself to heal. I am not asking you to strive to become something else. I am asking you to let me renew you from within. Do not merely manage symptoms. Let me touch the root. Give me space to untangle the knots in your mind, to calm the storms in your heart, to restore order to your weary body. Every part of you is connected. A soul in pain affects the body. Repressed emotions poison the blood. Unspoken truths scream through the flesh. But when I step in, all things can be reversed. I did not create you to collapse in silence. I created you to be a vessel of glory, a place where I can pour out life, wisdom, healing, and from there, let it flow into the world. I do not seek perfect vessels. I choose willing ones, vessels with cracks, but no pretenses, vessels that no longer try to look whole, but open their fractures so my light can shine through. And you are one of those vessels. You are the one I desire to fill with new life. You are the place where I will stir a deeper living beyond human understanding. But that can only happen if you dare to believe. You are worthy to be healed. Not because you have done everything right, but because you are mine. My love for you cannot be shaken by failure, mistake, or anything you have done or failed to do. That love is as steadfast as the mountains, deeper than the ocean, and ready to lift you up whenever you call. Come back to rest. Not laziness, but a deep peace, a place within where you no longer need to prove, to fear, or to strain just to be seen. Because I have always seen you. I see you in your silence. I hear the cry of your heart when your lips say nothing. I wait for you, not with impatience, but with sacred patience. And today, again, I open my arms as I always have to invite you home, not to religion, not to burdensome obligations, but to relationship, a living bond between father and child. There, you will no longer feel small, alone, or weak. You will be reminded, in your weakness, my power is made perfect. You will rediscover yourself, not the version of you worn out from pleasing everyone, but the one formed in love, lifted by grace, and sent out with clear purpose. My beloved child, it is time to live in truth. It is time to shed the masks, the shields, and the assumptions. It is time to let the light touch the darkness. And I promise you this, everything I do in your life will always lead to goodness, not according to the world's standards. but according to heaven's good, pleasing, and perfect will. Come toward me. No rush, no fear, just one step, and I will walk the rest with you. You will never have to be alone again. That is the true life I have prepared for you. My beloved, be still and listen with your whole heart, for what I am about to say is not mere words, but living breath meant for your soul. You have strayed far from the source of life, but my eyes have never left you. When this world pushed you around, when you were swept up in busyness, lost within your own body, when you began to live like a machine, just completing tasks, I was still there. I was present in the weariness, in the midnight sighs, in the emptiness you couldn't name. I am the one who created you, who knows the flow of blood in your veins, every emotion tucked deep within you. Do not think I am far away. I have never been anywhere but in your heart. I have never stopped entering the darkness where you've locked yourself in, where you believed no one could understand. No one cared. No one could bear your truth. I do not shy away from the mess, the chaos, the brokenness of your soul. I am the one who can step into it and breathe new life into you. I know there are places in you that have withered, places that once burned bright, full of hope, places that dared to dream. Now, they seem like barren lands. But I have not come to condemn, I have come to resurrect. You thought the numbness in your heart marked the end. But no, to me, that is the beginning. Because when everything collapses, when you have nothing left to cling to, only then can you truly place everything into my hands. When you no longer have the strength to pretend you're okay, only then can your heart truly open to healing. I see the cracks no one else sees. I feel the silent cries of your soul, the prayers without words that you've held in your heart for years. And today, I say, let life come. I declare, let peace overflow. I command, let new strength arise. You are living in the midst of a battle not with others, but with the things so familiar to you that you mistake them as part of yourself. Some things began as small choices, a way to cope, a moment of letting go, but then they became chains that bind you. Not all addictions are poisons sometimes. They're just the habits of numbing pain, of self-comfort that quietly erode the soul. I see you know these things are destroying you, yet you feel powerless to break free. You feel weak, and yes, you are weak, but I am strong. I don't wait for you to be strong before I love you. I love you right in the midst of your struggle, but I cannot heal what you refuse to let go. You must choose to surrender. You must decide to release not out of fear, but for the sake of freedom. For nothing can be filled in a cup already full of residue. Nothing can be reborn if the old is not let go. I know there are things you're afraid to lose. There are false safeties you cannot bring yourself to leave. But they are blindfolds that keep you from seeing the light. I do not call you to let go into emptiness, but so I can pour in something new. I am the source of life, the living water that never runs dry. You will have to fight, but not alone. Your enemy is not people, not circumstances. Your true enemy is the inner voice that says you're unworthy, that you can't change, that you missed your chance. I have come to silence those lies. I've come to remind you that you are still chosen. You can still return. Restoration is not for the perfect. It is for those who dare to admit they need saving. You must rise. My child, you can no longer live in the in-between, where you know you need change but still hesitate. You can't keep putting it off with what sound like valid reasons. I'm too busy. When the pressure's off, I'll start. Just this last time, these words are stealing the very opportunities for restoration I offer you each day. It's time for you to stand, not with worn-out effort, but with the strength I will give you when you obey. Cleansing the temple is not an instant act, it is a journey, and I will walk with you each step. You may stumble, you may fall back once or twice, but do not let failure make you quit. The only thing I ask of you is not perfection, but faithfulness, a heart that knows how to return, how to press on, how to not give up on itself. I have never given up on you, so don't give up on me. Each time you choose what is good, even the smallest good, you are stepping closer to the fullness of life. You were made for holiness, not for decay. You were destined to shine, not to quietly fade. You are not the dwelling place of fatigue, bitterness, or doubt. You are my temple. And once you truly believe that I dwell in you, you will no longer treat yourself carelessly. You will begin to love yourself with the same love I have always had for you. You will learn to listen to your body, to your emotions, and to my voice, not with fear, but with deep gratitude. This is not condemnation. This is a precious invitation. This is not a blow, it is an outstretched hand. This is not punishment, it is a desperate call. Come home. Come home to yourself. Come home to the body you've neglected. Come home to the soul that is withered. Come home to me, the one who has waited for you. Patiently, lovingly, never turning away. Restoration begins with that return, not dramatic, not grand, just real. Right now, close your eyes and take a deep breath. Feel that breath. It is proof that life still remains in you. Every heartbeat, every flowing vein, every thought still moving means hope still exists. Opportunity still awaits. Time is still yours to change. You don't need to move fast. You just need to move sincerely. And as you walk, I will walk with you. I do not only heal your body, I heal the way you see yourself. I heal memories you thought were buried. I restore even the places medicine cannot reach for. I am the Creator, the one who saw before the wound came and knows exactly how to heal. I am your Lord, and I tell you, do not fear, for I have chosen you. I have called you by name. You are mine, and in my hands. Nothing is hopeless. No one is too far gone to be healed. No soul is too broken to rise again. So, my child, come home. Let the days ahead no longer be wearied existence, but a step-by-step return to true life. I do not promise ease, but I promise I will not leave you. And each step you take in obedience will lead you toward a new self full of life, full of light, full of hope. I am waiting not because I lack, but because I long to see you living the way I dreamed of you before you were formed in your mother's womb. My beloved, rise, live, let me restore you. And from that new life, you will become a witness for those who are weary as you once were, for the souls who have fallen as you once did. The healing I do in you is not only for you, it will become a fire that warms those around you. Starting today, starting with one decision, starting with you, my beloved child. I know you've heard many promises before. You've hoped, only to be let down. You've begun, only to give up again. I know there is still a quiet fear within you, wondering whether this time will be any different, whether I truly mean it when I say I will help you. But I want you to listen carefully. I do not make empty promises. Every word that comes from me is life, is action, is an unwavering commitment. When I say I will hold your hand, it is not just a comforting image, it is a sacred reality that will uphold you in every moment you feel too weak to stand. When temptation comes like a storm, when you feel like giving up, returning to the old ways simply because they feel familiar and safe, I will be the one who shields you. When your body cries out for what will only harm it, I will be the self-control you never thought you could have. Not because you are strong enough, but because I will give you a new strength, one that doesn't come from discipline or effort alone, but from overflowing mercy. When doubt creeps into your mind, whispering lies like, "You'll just fail again. No one really cares. You don't deserve to be healed," I will be the voice that is both gentle and powerful, saying to you, "You are chosen. You are valuable. You are on the right path." I am never silent when you need reassurance. If you listen, you'll realize I've been speaking all along through a song, through a scripture verse, through someone who seems to appear by chance. Nothing is random, everything is a reminder. I am here. And when loneliness comes knocking, when you feel like no one truly understands, no one truly hears, I will surround you with the sweetest presence you've ever known. Not the cold distance of a far-off deity, but the nearness of warmth in your chest, the embrace of a father, the safety you've longed for. You don't need to fight to be seen, or scream to be heard. I see you. I hear you. Even when you say nothing, even a sigh from your heart is enough to move me. I do not wait for you to become perfect before I walk with you. I am not standing at the finish line waiting for you to arrive. No, my child, I am here. In the struggle, in each faltering step, I walk with you through the hunger, through the chaos, through the days you feel like a mess beyond repair. Right there at what feels like the worst is where I begin, my most beautiful work. Because I am not just the destination. I am the companion for the whole journey. When you are weak, it is not failure. It is the space where my strength is revealed. When you are confused, I will bring clarity. When you are afraid, I will be the unshakable peace. You will learn to live each day not by fear, but by hope built on a foundation that cannot be swept away. I do not promise you there will be no storms, but I promise you will never be alone in them. The healing I offer you is not a secret gift to hide away. It will shine. It will spread. Others will see the difference in your eyes, your walk, your words. They won't understand it with their minds, but their souls will feel that something supernatural has taken place in your life. And you, yes, you, will become the answer to someone else's prayer, not because you are perfect, but because you surrendered. Your body, the temple of life, will become a bold testimony to my power. It will no longer be a vessel of toxins, pain, or exhaustion. It will be a dwelling place of strength, serenity, and light. When others look at you, they won't just see someone who got better, they will see a life reborn. And you, in your obedience, will be a lighthouse to those who are lost. But for this to happen, you must choose obedience, not out of fear of punishment, but because you trust that I am always right, always loving, always good. Believe that the words I speak to you today are not by chance. This is the sign you have quietly pleaded for. Maybe you've cried and said, "Lord, just give me a word, a direction." This is that word, not through an angel or a thunderous miracle, but through my gentle presence whispering in your heart. Resistance will come, that is natural. The enemy doesn't want you free. It will try to keep you bound with soft chains, a delicious indulgence, a late-night show, a friend who drains you but whom you can't bear to leave. It will whisper, "This isn't necessary," or "You won't keep this up." But I say to you, you are not fighting alone. I will send angels to guard you. I will steady your heart when you feel like falling. And when you call on me, I will answer faster than the beat of fear in your chest. I will pour out peace, not the peace that comes from a life without problems, but the peace that exists in the middle of all that's not yet right, a peace that no one can give and no one can take away. I will also grant you wisdom not all at once, but piece by piece, like rain falling steadily on dry ground. Each time you ask, you will receive. Each step you take, I will light the path ahead. You will be amazed, yes, amazed at the pace of your healing once you stop resisting me. Some things will change so quickly. You will hardly believe it. Pain will vanish. Negative thoughts will quiet. Guilt will melt into freedom. Other things will take time, like a body needing deep sleep to heal, like soil needing seasons to bear fruit. But whether quickly or slowly, the truth is this: it will happen. If you walk with me, nothing is hopeless. My beloved child, don't wait for the feeling to act. Don't wait to feel strong before you begin. Don't wait until everything makes sense to take a step. Walk even if your legs tremble. Obey even if your heart still wonders. Trust me not just with your mind, but with a childlike faith that clings to its father's hand in a crowded street. I will not lose you. I will not let anyone snatch you from my grasp. My beloved, as you hear these words, I pray you do not just listen with your physical ears, but open your heart to feel with your soul. For what I am about to say is not soft advice. It is the cry of the one who formed you with every breath of love. You are standing at a crossroad unknown to others. There are no warning bells, no red or green lights, but here, your destiny is being shaped, moment by moment, by how you respond to this silent call. This is not a small thing. I repeat, this is not a small thing. This is a turning point, not something you can push aside to think about later or deal with when you have time. Not just another beautiful piece of advice in the flood of messages you scroll through. This is when heaven touches earth. This is the sacred moment when I reach out to you amid your daily rush, the noise of life, and the silence where you thought I had forgotten you. No, I have never forgotten. I am calling you. Now, you may not see the full picture, but I do. I see the weariness you carry silently. I see the times you pretend to be okay just so others won't worry. I see every quiet step you take, even when you feel like breaking inside. You thought no one could see it, but I see it. I always see. I have never taken my eyes off you, not even in your darkest night. And today, I interrupt your routine not to disturb you, but to rescue you. I step into the stream of your life, not out of anger, but because I love you too much to watch you slowly fall into the pit of exhaustion. Every word I speak today is a wake-up call for your soul, not to frighten, but to awaken what's been sleeping inside you, the deepest, the most beautiful part of you that I placed there from the very beginning. You are not the weariness you're feeling. You are not the list of diagnoses others have placed upon you. You are not the sum of disappointments, the times you've fallen, or the dreams left unfinished. No, you are my masterpiece, crafted not merely to survive, but to live abundantly, to carry the light, to reflect the divine in this world. I know there are moments when you look in the mirror and no longer recognize yourself. That face, once radiant, now bears the marks of sleepless nights. Those eyes, once full of hope, now glimmer with quiet resignation. But my child, no one defines you but me, the one who placed the first breath in your lungs, who shaped you from nothing with my own heart. Do not let exhaustion, illness, or sorrow define you. Let me, with my unwavering love, write a new chapter of your life. Starting now, I don't require you to understand everything. I'm not asking you to be strong right away. I only ask that you say yes. Say yes to the truth that you need help. Say yes in humility to admit, I can't go on like this. Say yes to opening your heart and letting me in. That's all I need, your consent. And when you open your heart, I will do the rest. I will heal. I will restore. I will breathe into you a new vitality, a renewed vision, a reason to move forward, not with struggle, but with genuine joy. You were not created to fade away, but to stand firm, not to be swallowed by anxiety, but to live with peace that surpasses all understanding. You were not born to collapse on the path. You were born to fulfill a great purpose that only you can carry. There are people out there waiting for you to rise. There are souls in need of your presence. But you cannot pour out when you are empty. Let me fill you again. This is not a punishment. This is a gift. Not everyone recognizes opportunity when it knocks, but you can. Right now, don't let familiarity keep you bound. Don't let fear hold you back. I'm not asking you to become someone else. I'm inviting you to return to your truest self, the one I breathed life into. You don't have to hide. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to be perfect. I loved you long before you learned to love yourself. Maybe you've believed that restoration comes from doing better, living better, being more disciplined. But no, my child, restoration begins not with doing, but with being loved. And I love you, not for what you can do for me, but because you are mine. That love is unconditional, unchanging, unshakable, even when you wander, when you are weak, when you fall short. You may have turned away from me, but I have never turned away from you. Now I stand at the door of your heart, gently knocking. I don't force my way in. I don't threaten. I wait like a father standing in the rain, refusing to leave until you open the door. And when you do, nothing can stop the healing that will pour into every part of you, your body, your mind, your soul. You will be surprised at how change begins, a deeper sleep, a lighter breath, an unexplainable sense of peace. These are signs that I have entered. You are not alone. You have never been alone. When you didn't know how to pray, I still heard. When you no longer had the strength to call my name, I was still near. When you collapsed, I was there. And now, I don't just want you to stand, I want you to soar, to rise beyond all that once held you captive, to rise beyond the labels you placed on yourself, to rise above fear, shame, and the unworthiness that's clung to you for too long. Let me rewrite the story, not with grand achievements in the world, but with quiet resurrection in the depths of your soul. I will take the shattered pieces and craft something even more beautiful than before. I will use your tears to water a new field of hope. I will take your sobs and turn them into songs of praise. Nothing is wasted when you offer it to me. Yes, my beloved, if your heart is still open, if your spirit still resonates with these words, then linger a little longer so I can keep whispering. I have not stopped, and I will not stop until you truly see. You have never been forsaken. You have never been alone. Not a single prayer you have uttered was in vain. Not one cry of anguish escaped my notice. Not once did you fall without me, kneeling beside you in sacred silence. Let every word I've spoken wash over your soul like cool water, rinsing away the dust of this world. I do not speak to force belief, but so that you might feel, with your whole heart, that I am here. I am listening. I am alive. I am present in this very moment, right where you are reading these words, like an underground river flowing into the dry soil of your being. Do not resist. Do not doubt. For when you open your heart and let me into the places you've kept hidden, that is when true healing begins. Prayer, my child, is not a miracle reserved for the righteous or the perfect. Prayer is the language of the broken, of the weary soul seeking refuge. It is the breath of the Spirit when all else has run dry. It is the grip of a hand in the dark. It is the cry without words. It is surrender in the moment when there is nothing left to hold on to but me. I do not need your words to be proper, exact, or spiritual. I need them to be real. Speak to me as a child to their father with unfinished pain, unanswered questions, and the chaos in your heart. I understand it all, and I am never discouraged by your honesty. Did you know, when you pray, you echo through the spiritual realm the words you whisper, even just, Lord, I can't anymore. I remember everyone. I gather your tears like precious gems in the jar of life. When you sigh in exhaustion, I'm not bothered, I'm drawn nearer. For in your weakness, I am invited to be strong. In your helplessness, I move with my limitless power. I don't seek the strong, I seek the sincere. Not because I can't heal what you hide, but because I will not go where I'm not invited. Prayer is not meant to change me, it is meant to change you. When you pray, your mind is renewed, your heart is softened, your soul is expanded. Some miracles don't happen instantly, but through the steady rhythm of prayer, you are being reshaped. Each prayer is like a masterful chisel, shaping the truest form within you, the form I saw before anyone else ever did. When you pray, eternity touches time. Heaven steps into earth. You are not merely asking for something, you are encountering the one who made you. And in that encounter, I begin to awaken life. I rekindle the embers, almost extinguished. I raise up the faith that once fell. I gather the broken pieces of dreams you thought were dead. I do not rush this work. I do not heal with noise. I heal in depth, in quiet, but with certainty. As you continue to pray, the walls within your heart will begin to crack, not to collapse, but so that light may come in. And when the light enters, you will realize everything you've longed for was never far. It was always near, just waiting for you to call it by name. You may feel small and insignificant. Perhaps you think your prayers cannot change anything. But I tell you this truth, when a sincere heart bows down, all of heaven falls silent to listen. There is no army stronger than a soul kneeling in faith. There is no door that can remain closed before a persistent prayer. You cannot see all that is shifting, but there are things moving, changing in the spiritual realm each time you say, I need you. I also know there are times when you pray and nothing seems to happen. Sometimes you're silent. Sometimes you're even angry with me because I didn't answer the way you wanted. I understand. I do not blame you. I know the waiting can wear you down. But know this, I am not late. I never forget. I never overlook what you've believed, what you've sacrificed, what you've surrendered. I am paving the way, preparing something greater than you could ever imagine. And one day, when you look back, you'll see not a single prayer was wasted. They were the very bricks laid down to build your destiny. So, my child, do not stop praying. Whether it's in the middle of the night, during work hours, in the bathroom, or amid a panic attack, just whisper, as long as you call out, I will come. Prayer is not a formula, it is breath. It is when your soul speaks to me and I respond, not just in words, but with my presence. Just as a child lying in their father's arms needs no words, only warmth. Prayer is that closeness. It is when you don't have to do anything, just be present in. My love, you may think you're not good enough to pray, but that very thought is the reason to pray. Prayer is not a reward for the perfect. It is the lifeline for the seeking. When you come to me in your weakness, I do not pull away. You draw near. When you pray not to earn points, but to find life, that is when your prayer is most powerful. So now, my beloved, press on. Pray in every circumstance. When you rejoice, give thanks. When you grieve, cry out. When you have no words, sit in my presence, and I will speak for you. Prayer is breath, a way of life, the lifeline between you and me. Never underestimate it. For in every whisper, every sigh, every time your head falls into your hands from weariness, you are writing a new covenant with me, a life led, is heard, and restored by unending love. My child, never think you need to be good enough, strong enough, or spiritual enough to come close to me. I am not moved by the perfection you try to wear. I am drawn to your raw honesty, to the weakness you try to hide, to those moments you want to give up but still manage to smile. You don't have to pretend with me. I see through every layer you wear. I see behind your steady gaze a child tired, trembling, yearning for someone to hold them without explanation. And I am that safe place. You can come to me at your worst, ungroomed, unstrong, uncomposed. Come with sleepless eyes, trembling hands, and a heart out of rhythm from pain. Come when you have no words left. I am not offended by your exhaustion. I am not unsettled by your tears. I am not annoyed when you repeat the same prayer 1,000 times simply because you don't know what else to say. I just want you to come. Your presence in my arms is what I've been waiting for all this time. When you bring me your weakness, you do not disappoint me, you move me. When you offer me your brokenness, you do not discourage me, you give me the chance to rebuild something more beautiful than what you lost. I am not repelled by the darkness within you. I have seen it, known it, understood it, and I still choose to love you. Not because you are lovable, but because my very nature is love. Not because you are strong, but because your weakness brings me glory. Do you think I need you to do something impressive? No. I need you to open your heart. I need you to believe that your brokenness, your lostness, your helplessness is the very beginning of miracles. It is at the place where you collapse that I will lift you up. It is in the place you feel useless that I will do something extraordinary. You only need to come, even with a faint whisper. Lord, I don't know where to begin. That alone is enough for me to act. Do you know who I am? I am the one who created heaven and earth, yet I stoop low to be near a soul as small as yours. I am the one who set the stars in their courses, yet I know the exact rhythm of your heartbeat in this very moment. I am the one who breathed the first breath into mankind, and I can breathe again into you, reviving the life you thought had withered. I can touch every weakened cell in your body. I can renew damaged organs. I can calm inflamed areas, cleanse toxic buildup. I can reawaken functions the doctors said were too late. Do you believe? I am the one who opened blind eyes with a single touch. I made the deaf hear with just one word. I made the lame walk with a single glance of power. And now, my child, I have not changed. I am still that same one. That power has never faded. I am only waiting for your heart to open so I can act. I see the diagnoses that terrify you. I see the fear in your eyes as you read test results. I see your hands tremble while reading sterile medical terms. But child, those reports are not the final word. The final word is mine. And I say, life belongs to you. I say, nothing is too late with me. I do not promise that every illness will vanish instantly, but I promise that you will never walk alone. And where I am, there is never hopelessness. The healing I bring is not just for the body, but for the soul. I heal painful memories. I wipe away haunting images. I break the power of toxic words etched into your memory since childhood, left unchecked. These wounds can destroy the body, but if you let me in, they will be washed clean. You will be lighter, brighter, fully alive from the inside out. I did not come to put makeup on your life. I came to transform it from the foundation up. I do not paint over cracks. I rebuild the entire structure. I do not want you to merely feel better. I want you to be truly healed. And it begins with my presence in the smallest moments. A mindful meal, a worry-free sleep, a morning that begins in gratitude, a whispered prayer in the middle of the day. These small things, I will use them to rebuild your life firm, a whole, with purpose. Do not fear beginning again, even if you've failed 100 times, even if you've broken promises. I do not keep records of wrongs. I keep records of love, and my love never runs dry. It is new every morning. It is sufficient for each day, and it can do what medicine, psychology, or any human system cannot. So, my child, if today your heart is heavy, come. If today your body is weary, come. If today you have no more words to pray, just breathe and let me listen to that breath. I am not waiting for a perfectly worded prayer. I am waiting for an honest heart, and I will never turn away a heart that chooses to return. My beloved child, and when the dawn breaks, when the first ray of light touches your eyelids after a long night of struggle, physically, mentally, spiritually, I invite you to rise not with fear, but with gratitude, not because everything has changed completely, but because you know one thing for sure: change has begun. You may not feel different yet. You may still ache, still feel tired, still feel trapped in the mess. But remember, I do not perform miracles based on your emotions. I act when you place your trust in me. Faith is not a fleeting feeling, it is a deep decision of the soul. When you open your mouth and declare trust, Lord, I believe you are doing something in me. The seed has been planted. Even if the soil of your heart is dry, even if your situation seems dim, that very moment when you choose to believe is the beginning of all my work. Healing does not always come like a mighty wind, shaking everything. Sometimes, it comes like a gentle breeze, silently soaking in, and then suddenly, it blooms. My child, I am calling you to live in the spirit of prayer, not merely as one who pleads, but as a friend who converses with me continually. Let prayer no longer be a distant concept, no longer a last resort, but the very breath you draw each morning, the quiet echo in every rhythm of life. Do not pray only when something happens. Pray even when your heart is at peace. Don't wait until you need something. Speak to me simply because you desire to be near. My love for you is not conditional on your circumstances, and I long for your love for me to not depend on momentary success or failure. Before you seek someone to share your burden, let me be the first to hear. Before you post your feelings online, speak with me. Before you get lost in the sea of voices and advice, come to me, for I am the source of wisdom, the clarity that never confuses. I am the place where you do not need to explain yourself endlessly. I am where you can be utterly honest, down to the core, without fear of being misunderstood or judged. I have always waited for you, not just for you to get things right, but for your heart to soften. So many times you've gone through pain, braced yourself, carried it alone, and thought, perhaps God has forgotten me. But you didn't know I was silently standing by your bedside every night, listening to each weary heartbeat, to every heavy thought. I was there, not with cold silence, but with the patience of a father waiting for your heart to open. And today, as you hear these words, as your heart pauses, as a faint flicker stirs inside you, that is me touching you, that is the moment I say, this is the beginning. Lay aside every religious mold that was ever forced on you. Stop limiting me by your past experiences or what others have said. I am not a religious memory. I am not a lifeless image in a book. I am the one who longs to be real, alive, personal right there in your room, in the flow of your life, in the smallest moments you think I wouldn't care about. I am not only the majestic creator, I am the one who holds your hand through every change, who wipes your tears when no one understands you, who places my hand on your chest and whispers, I am here, still here. Oh, I want your faith to be more than theory, more than words you repeat in prayer. I want it to be something you've lived, experienced, felt in your very bones. I want you to know me, not just because others told you, but because you have encountered me, walked with me, seen me move in your body and your life. That is true relationship, and it is waiting for you to go deeper. But I will not hide this from you. There will be days when you'll want to give up. Mornings when everything inside you screams, there's no hope. Nights when your effort feels too small. And the pain, exhaustion, or loneliness feels too great. Doubt will speak. It will whisper, this is pointless. You'll never be healed. The enemy of your soul will try everything to wear you down, to pull you back to the place you just left. But I tell you, stand firm. Stand in the storm with trembling legs but eyes lifted high. Keep praying. Even if the words are few and simple, keep speaking to me. Even if all you can manage is a cry, keep doing the small right things. Drink water. Breathe. Walk. Eat with care. Rest when needed. Keep believing even when your heart feels nothing. Because faith does not grow in ease. It matures in the valley where you don't see, don't hear, but still move forward. And remember this, I have never failed anyone who truly placed their trust in me. Not one. Those who surrendered to me completely have found what your heart longs for healing. Not only of the body, but also of the soul. And you will too. You will not remain as you were yesterday. You will not live forever in this darkness. I will bring you out if you take my hand. My beloved, dawn has come not just in the sky, but in your heart, even if the light feels faint. Rise with gratitude. That small light is your reminder. I am moving. And you, my precious child, are being healed day by day. Not by a distant miracle, but by living love, every breath, every prayer, every step of trust with me. And I will never leave you. Never, my beloved child. It is time you re-examine your prayer life, not as a task to complete, not as a duty on a spiritual checklist, but as a lifeline that connects your heart to mine, the one who never stops loving you. I don't want rushed prayers in weariness, nor hollow, repeated words. I long to hear your real voice, whether whispered in the night or hidden in sighs too deep for words. I want prayer to become the breath of your daily life, unbroken, intimate, without distance or limit. Don't come to me only when you need something. Let me into every part of your life each morning as you open your eyes. Every meal, every work hour, every passing thought. Talk to me. Invite me into the market, the drive, the decisions you have to make. I don't just dwell on high, I am present in the kitchen, at the desk, wherever you breathe and live. And when you speak, listen. Don't pray like a monologue. I am not silent. My voice may not thunder, but I whisper through peace. I teach through gentle nudges in your heart, through unease when you're about to step off course. When your hand reaches for what is harmful, I will warn you. When you overwork and forget to rest, I will press your heart to return. When you near relationships that wither your soul, I will draw you out with holy discomfort. You'll know if you pause and listen. Prayer is where you surrender control and let me lead. It is where you strip away the masks you wear for others and for yourself and stand bare before me, who loves you without disguise. I know you more than you know yourself. I see what you hide, what you can't put into words, what you blame yourself for, and I am not shocked, not disappointed. I will not walk away, because in prayer, no matter how messy, brief, or fragile your weakness touches, my strength, there, shouts, dissolves in clarity. There, I do what you cannot. I place peace in your anxious mind. I lift the burden no one else even knows you're carrying. I heal wounds that draw no blood but drain your heart day by day. You don't need perfect words. I'm not moved by eloquence. I'm moved by sincerity. A whisper of, Lord, I don't know what to do anymore, is enough to shake the heavens. I'm not far off. I'm not busy with greater souls. I am Father, and you are my child. You never have to make an appointment to speak with me. My door is always open. And in my presence, when you sit still, release control, and let me embrace you. Healing begins, not just in bone, blood, or skin, but in the deepest parts of your soul. Illnesses in you may have begun from hidden grief, from unshared pressure, from quiet shame, from guilt left to fester. These deep roots cannot simply be trimmed. They must be pulled out at the root, and only I can do that without breaking you. Let me break every chain you once unknowingly agreed to, every false vow made in fear, every lie you believed that you're unworthy. Aborden, not enough. I will shatter them, not with violence, but with truth wrapped in love. I will remind you who you are, a child of light, heir to every good grace I prepared before time began. And yes, I do not separate spiritual healing from physical reality. I may lead you to a doctor. I may show you what to stop eating, what habits to change, how to sleep enough, exercise, or leave toxic environments. Don't resist that. Don't think faith excludes responsibility. Sometimes, healing begins where comfort ends. You may need to leave familiar ground. You may feel alone for a while. But soon you'll see there is no safer place than where I lead you. Do not fear when I ask you to let go of something. For everything I call you to release, I have already prepared something better. Not to punish, but to free you. Not to deprive, but to lighten your load. My grace will always go before every step you take. I do not place burdens on your shoulders and turn away. I walk with you, lift you, strengthen you. Even when you can't feel it, I am working. Even in silence, I am writing goodness into the backdrop of your life. So, my child, pray. Speak with me even when you have nothing to say. Exhale the things you can't name. Give me the fragments, I will shape them into something new. Unlike anything before, let your life become a ceaseless prayer where every decision includes me. Every action flows toward me, and every heartbeat echoes this invitation. Please stay with me. I won, my beloved. When you don't feel me, don't assume I've gone. For I am not a fleeting feeling, I am the eternal one. My presence does not depend on your emotions. I don't need noise to prove I'm working, even in stillness. In the moments your soul feels most hollow, I am at work. I move in the unseen depths, in the quiet shifts of life within you, in the silent yet wondrous things being formed. Take heart, my child. Believe that your prayers are not ignored. I do not measure them by length, emotion, or form. I measure them by heart. And your heart, though weary, still turns to me. Though weak, still remains faithful. Though trembling, still presses on, and that alone shakes the heavens. That mustard seed faith moves eternity. You may not see it, but in the heavens, angels are being sent. Doors are beginning to open, and your path is being cleared. Right now, your body is beginning to respond. It may not be as quickly as you had hoped, nor as clearly as you imagined, but the currents of life are flowing within you. Every time you pray, every time you breathe in my presence, you are driving out the darkness from your very cells. Each declaration of faith, even a faint whisper, carries the power to shift the flow within. Do not fear the slowness, for I am not in a hurry. I am patient, but never delayed. I am working meticulously, precisely, and lovingly in the deepest layers of your being. Each night as you bend your knees, as your eyes close in prayer, you are watering the seed of life that I have planted. Even if you see nothing sprouting, the seed is alive, it is growing. The soil may seem dry, but I am pouring gentle rain upon it. And the day will come, very soon, when the tender shoot of healing will rise. It will not be just a return of health, but a full revival of your entire being, your mind, your body, your emotions, and your soul. Each morning when you wake and choose to trust me over fear, you are clearing the sky above you. You are dissolving the fog. You are pushing back the lies the enemy has sown in your mind for years. And even if you do not realize it, this very act is changing the atmosphere within. Light is rising. Hope is budding again. And step by step, you will begin to feel what you have been asking for. not only in spirit, but in your body, in the way you live, in the way you love, in the way you see life. The day will come when you will look back and see what once seemed unchangeable has truly changed. The parts of you that felt beyond healing have been reborn. The dry places are now blooming. And then, those around you, those who witnessed your struggle in the dark, will look at you in awe. They will not be able to explain it with reason, with medicine, or with luck. They will only be able to say, only God could have done this. And because the healing that comes from me is not merely a result, it is a testimony, a living proof that I am real, that I love you, that I never forsake those who seek me with a sincere heart. You will be a living testimony to my love and power. You will not need to preach with words, your life will speak. Your eyes, brighter, deeper, more peaceful, will be a witness. The peace in your walk, in the way you live each day, will cause others to ask, how is this possible? And then, you will speak to them with a voice full of love and truth. I did not do this on my own. I did not lift myself up. I was healed by my Father in heaven. And through that testimony, you will open the way for others, those who are also collapsing, also losing hope, to dare believe that if it happened to you, it could happen to them too. My beloved, do not stop. Do not lose heart. I am working in silence, in the deep, in persistence, and I never leave anything unfinished. What I have begun in you, I will complete fully, gloriously, beyond anything you ever imagined. For I am the Lord your God, the one who loves you, the one who is with you, the one who never forgets a single prayer whispered through tears. And then, in a moment that seems ordinary, in the quiet of the night, you will nod your head gently, not because you feel strong, not because the fear has vanished, not because you suddenly became brave, but because something soft has awakened within, a peace not from you, a certainty not born from circumstances, a strength you know did not come from yourself. That is me, the one who answered your cry, the one who placed the response right into your weakness, not because you earned it, but because I love you too much not to act. Never underestimate your seemingly feeble prayers. You may think they are unheard sighs, broken sentences among tears, hopeless repetitions. But I, the Almighty, bend down to hear them as a sacred symphony. Every groan, every silent burden, every tear that falls on your pillow, I gather them all. Not one word in the night escapes me. Not one sob goes unfelt. And it is in that quiet place that I begin to move, not with thunder, but with a tenderness that can crack the hardest stone. You do not need to come to me in perfection. Pray when your heart is tangled. Pray when the tears speak more than words. Pray even when your faith is only a fragile spark. You do not need to strain to believe strongly. Just believe enough to whisper, Lord. That alone is enough to stir heaven. Let prayer become your breath, steady, honest, persistent. Let it be your refuge, the place you return when the world is too loud, too harsh. And believe this, not a single whisper you lift up is ever forgotten. I am here, not just to listen quickly, but to hear deeply. I do not listen like a machine to respond, but to carry your burden with you. When you speak, I do not only hear with ears, I hear with my heart. I listen with full compassion, without judgment, without rush. I am patient when you don't know how to pray, I am gentle when you repeat old fears. I wait when you hesitate, and I stay near when you weep. You can pray with confusion, with trembling, even with silence. I still understand. I still receive. And while you see no change yet, while everything outward still looks the same, still feels stuck, I am working. I am reaching into the hidden places. I am realigning what is off balance. I am preparing things for you that you have never even dreamed of. I am making a way through the wilderness, causing rivers to flow in dry places. I am stirring life in every cell, every emotion, every shadowed corner of your soul. And you will know, not all at once, but certainly that you are no longer the same. Because you prayed, because you opened your heart, and because I am always faithful. I love you with a love that is unconditional, unchanging, not based on your moods or actions. A love that does not waver with good or bad days. A love that does not weaken when you fail. A love that does not tire when you repeat your mistakes. My love is not a reward for effort, but the unshakable foundation for your rising. You are my beloved, even when you cannot believe it. You are the child I keep lifting up, even when you push me away. And you are still the joy in my eyes, even when you see yourself as a failure. Rise up, my child. Pray, even if only with a breath. Believe, even if only with a flicker of hope. Open your heart, even with the simple words, I need you. And then, you will see, not a loud miracle, but a gentle stream transforming you little by little. You will live. You will grow. Not by willpower, but by grace. Not by your own strength, but by mercy. Not because you are good enough, but because I am always good. My beloved, I have spoken, and my word never returns void. I have declared, you will live. Therefore, life will come, whether you see it or not, whether your feelings rise or fall, whether reality resists. My word is life, is light, is the solid ground amid the shifting tides. Lean on me. Hold fast to my word as you hold your very breath. Let prayer be the heartbeat of your days. And one day, you will look back and marvel at what I have done, all beginning from a small, sincere prayer. And by then, you will understand. Nothing is small when placed in my hands. No tear is meaningless when shed in my presence. No prayer is weak when it rises from a true heart. I do not merely hear you, I love you. I do not merely walk beside you, I fight for you. And I do not merely heal, I transform you at the root, so that you are no longer just someone who was once wounded, but someone who carries the mark of resurrection. You are mine, forever. Nothing can change that truth. And because you belong to me, you will not fall. You will not be consumed by what seeks to kill the hope within you. You will not merely survive, you will live with strength, with glory, exactly as I have destined for you. And it all begins with the prayer you whisper tonight. So pray, believe, live, for I, your faithful God, am right here, and I will never leave you. Now, with a heart unhidden, Unashamed, come to me, the one who knows you better than you know yourself, with all your honesty. O Almighty and merciful God, I come before you in the trembling of a weary soul that still longs to live. I do not come with a list of requests, but to lay my heart bare raw, real, and unguarded. I've tried to walk alone for too long, But today I lay down that burden and offer you all of me, body, mind, and spirit. Please step into the places that have grown dry, where I no longer feel alive. Heal me, restore me, and remain not just in this moment, but throughout the days of my life. O Father, who breathed life into every breath I take, today I ask not only for strength in my body, but for softness in my soul. There are things within me that have died: joy, I hope, innocence, trust, and I don't even know where to begin to bring them back. But if you can revive what once seemed lost, then please do the same in me. Teach me to pray not just in fear, but also in peace. Let my life become a continual song to you, not needing melody or eloquence, only truth. O you who love me in my weakness, I dare not promise I won't stumble, but I do promise I will not walk away from you. Each time I feel like giving up, remind me that your hand has never let go. Each time fear creeps in, be the rock I cling to. Each time I feel empty, be the living water flowing from heaven into my parched soul. I do not ask for an easy path, only for steady feet, and for your strong hand never to leave me. O giver of breath, keeper of every cell within me, I thank you that I can still pray today, for that alone is proof that you have not stopped working in me. I place this healing journey in your hands, the days of progress, the days of stillness, and even the days when everything seems to move backward. Help me to trust, not only when I see results, but when everything is still uncertain, for I know your power is not bound by time or circumstance. You are the one who can change everything with just a word. O kind Father, I've chased after so many things, only to be left exhausted. Today, I just want to stop to rest in you. Bring me back to what is simple, yet powerful, your presence. Help me not to seek healing in temporary places, but to return to the eternal source of life. Set everything within me back in the place you intended. Heal me so that I may live fully again, not just survive, but live in the glory of your presence. O God of the impossible, everything in me says there is no hope left, but a small part of me still believes, and I choose to believe that part. Please do the rest. Breathe life into my weariness. Bring light into my darkness, and rebuild my life from the broken pieces. I believe there is nothing in me too complicated for you to mend, nothing too ruined for you to make new. Do what is pleasing to you, and give me a willing, obedient heart. O God of gentleness, when the world loves me for being strong, teach me to trust that you love me even when I am weak. When others listen to my words, remind me that you hear me even in my silence. When no one else stays, help me to know that you are still here, always here. Restore this heart not to make it harder, but to make it soft enough to love, soft enough to trust, soft enough to forgive even myself. O dearly loving Father, I don't understand everything, but I choose to surrender. I don't see the future clearly, but I choose to take a step forward. I don't have enough strength, but I choose to obey, because I know you are the God who keeps his word. And you never begin something you do not finish. Let my life become a poem written with miracles, with endurance, with faith that does not fall apart, and be the eternal punctuation at the end of each day I give wholly to you. O beloved Father, I thank you for not abandoning me in the middle of the process. Even when I'm slow, even when I hesitate, you are patient. Thank you for every flicker of hope that still shines each time I pray. Thank you for the days when everything feels still, yet you are quietly at work in me. Thank you for healing, not just my body, but also the wounds deep within my soul. Thank you for still being my Father through every season. O faithful God, I thank you for the peace that surpasses understanding, a peace not born from perfection, but from your presence in the midst of imperfection. Thank you for hearing my cry, not ignoring, not dismissing. Thank you for reminding me, I don't need all the answers. I just need you. And thank you that even when I don't feel you, you are still there, unchanging, unmoving. O God who never sleeps, I know there are things I'll never see with my eyes, but I believe you are at work. Thank you that even with fear still in my heart, I can be at peace in your hands. Thank you for all you are healing in silence, in patience, in love. I am grateful for this journey. It is not easy, but it is one I walk with you. And because of that, I am never alone. O God of every generation, I thank you that today I am still called your child. Thank you that you are still shaping me, teaching me, correcting me, and loving me. Thank you that every prayer, every tear, every pain is not in vain. I give thanks not because everything has changed, but because you never change. And in that, my soul finds peace. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith